Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic Armed Forces, distinguished invited guests, esteemed ladies and gentlemen. Before we move on to the next item, please permit me to give you a brief rundown of the program. We've just received the blessings from the Almighty God. Now the next item will be the welcome address and declaration of purpose. Quickly, we have a statement from His Excellency the Chinese Ambassador of the Republic of Sierra Leone or his representative. We will listen the keynote address by His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. He will be respectfully invited to cut the tape. Thereafter, inspection and display of ASLAF equipment. The inspection will be only by key selected personalities here present. Then finally, we'll have light refreshment. On this note, Your Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, distinguished invited guests, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor and privilege to now respectfully invite the Commander-Joint Force of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Major General D. Alpha, to respectfully deliver his welcome address and declaration of the purpose. Sir, you're welcome.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Fountain of Honor, and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Brigadier General Retired Dr. Julius Madabio, representative of His Excellency the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Honorable Minister of Defense, other cabinet ministers present here, members of diplomatic and consular corps, the presidential spokesman in the person of Honorable Alpha Khan, presidential advisor, Mr. John Oponjo Benjamin, the chairman, Public Service Commission, honorable members of parliament present here, the Chief of Defense Staff, representative of the Inspector General Police, heads of other security institutions, heads of construction companies present here, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Major General Daud Alfred Alpha, the Commander Joint Force. At this moment, I'm profoundly honored to deliver the welcome address as well as to declare the purpose of why we are here. At this juncture, let me, on behalf of our Honorable Minister of Defense, the Deputy Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, Director General, Ministry of Defense, senior officers present here, officers, men and women, heartily welcome His Excellency and His entourage, and also to invite him to the Headquarters Joint Force Command, as well as our reverend invited guests who have come to grace this symbolic occasion. Thank you all for being with us this morning. We might be wondering why are we gathered here this morning. The purpose of our gathering here this morning is to witness the official commissioning of 88 pieces of engineering equipment, which are going to be commissioned this morning by no less a person but His Excellency and our Commander-in-Chief, who is Brigadier General Retired Dr. Julius Madabio. Let me just quickly make a rundown of some of the assets. Prominent among these assets are crawler excavators, crawler bulldozers, which has about 230 horsepower. We also have forklifts, graders, semi-trailers, tractors, cargo trucks, dump trucks, amongst others. But before I proceed, let me just quickly give a synopsis of the engineer regiment. The General Regiment was established in 1976 with the sole aim of undertaking civil construction works for both the Republic of Armed Forces and, of course, support to governments of Sierra Leone. Since its inception, the unit has contributed immensely to the socio-economic growth of Sierra Leone. To name a few, they have worked the reconstruction of the Wilberforce Regent Road in 1980, rehabilitation of major roads in Kwaidu Town, which is in Konodi Street, in 1982, construction of an accommodation of joint border operations base at Bailo, which is also located at the Boloko District, in 1985, to name a few. However, with the 11-year Srebra incursion, coupled with a huge financial demand to sustain this equipment, it was very challenging, and most of the equipment crippled over the period. But then, with a visionary leader, in the person of Our Excellency, he now thought it fit to rebrand the Republic of Armed Forces, and that is how he went all out to acquire and secure what we are going to commission, is going to commission today. And that's a clear manifestation of an insightful leadership. Your Excellency, the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is against this backdrop that we are all assembled here to witness this symbolic commissioning ceremony. According to an industrial capitalist in the person of Ratan Tatan and India, I quote, "If you want to walk fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." End of quote. Your Excellency and Commander-in-Chief, it is in line with this vision that the senior management of the Ministry of Defense sought the need to scan the market for an effective and credible partnership. Indeed, with partnership, we can transfer knowledge. With partnership, we can share risk. With partnership, we can add value. And with partnership, we can make the difference. Furthermore, after several hierarchies that were conducted countrywide, the engineer team went all out to actually look at a suitable location. And of course, my 91 was identified as the most suitable location on two basic principles. Firstly, it has a large expanse of space that can accommodate all the assets we have as at now. Additionally, if you look at my 91, it is strategically located. It can access every part of the country. So basically, the senior management thought it fit to relocate these assets to mine 91. At this juncture, sir, I want to emphatically state that the ASLAF Engineering Regiment is now well equipped to contribute its own quota to the socio-economic growth of our motherland, which is Sierra Leone. Thus, on behalf of the senior management of the Ministry of Defense, I want to sincerely thank His Excellency the President and his government, as well as the government and People's Republic of China, for this laudable support. But then, I want to assure all of us here that the senior management have gone as far as promulgating a comprehensive equipment management care. We want to see how this equipment could be sustained, and that is why it is not going to be business as usual. Even within the military or out of the military, we're going to ensure that there's going to be effective monitoring, so at the end of the day, we can also reap the benefits that is required. Additionally, there are plans on the way to also ensure how we can also meet our PSO aspiration. That's a peace support operation. I'm very much sure with our deployment of some of the equipment, there's every possibility that we're going to have a buoyant reimbursement. So once more at this point, let me thank all of you for coming, and may God bless us all.
I'm sure the Commander Joint Force respectfully deserve another round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Commander Joint Force, Republic of Armed Forces, Major General D. Alpha, for the welcome address and declaration of purpose. Next on the program is a statement by the representative of His Excellency, the Chinese Ambassador to Sierra Leone. May I respectfully invite you.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic, Brigadier Retired Dr. Julio Madambio, Honorable Minister of Defense, Brigadier Retired Kali Conte, Honorable Deputy Minister of Defense, Director General, Chief of Staffs, Generals, Commanders, Officers, and Soldiers. Good morning. It's my great pleasure to attend this handover ceremony of newly arrived Chinese military aid to Sierra Leone. I was told that this bunch of machineries, vehicles, and equipment has become a topic of the day for the soldiers, making them happy and proud to be a serviceman in this country. In fact, the aid is aimed for supporting the commendable efforts of the Sierra Leone government in enhancing the capacity of its army. It's a result of the long-standing and profound friendship between our two countries, as well as the strong relationship between our two armies. It's also a concrete action of China in supporting President Bill and his government and the people of Sierra Leone in pursuing great development against numerous challenges arose inside and outside the country. I believe that these items will boost the morale of soldiers and contribute to the consolidation of peace, security in this country. I have no doubt that this assistance will help President Bill's new direction strategy in deliver more well-being to the country and to the people. Now we are in December. Along with the commissioning of the reconstructed officers' mess and single officers' quarters in Wilberforce early this year, the delivery of today's items signify a fruitful year of military cooperation between our two countries. I should commend Mr. President for attaching great importance to enhancing the friendly relations and cooperation with my country. I should applaud Mr. Conte, the leadership, the senior management of the ministry and the armed forces for their strong coordination and indispensable support in consistently strengthening our military bond. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, over recent years, our two countries have maintained a high level of genuine friendship and mutual trust. The cooperation between our two armed forces as a fundamental pillar of the bilateral relations has brought tangible benefits and further enriched China-Sierra Leone relations. Over the past 51 years, no matter how the international landscape changes, our two countries have always been supporting each other. Our two governments and two peoples have always been standing firmly together at any time. We have been coordinating with each other in upholding international fairness and justness, as well as the common interests of developing countries. I wish to express again my appreciation to the government and the people of Sierra Leone for their precious support to China on issues involving China's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and dignity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, recently the Communist Party of China has successfully held the 20th Congress. China has embarked a new journey of modernization, which will give more opportunities of cooperation between our two countries. It's China's established policy to continue enhancing its relationship and cooperation with Sierra Leone. Our embassy will earnestly implement the consensus reached by our two presidents and promote our partnership to a new high. In conclusion, I would like to express again my sincere gratitude to the government and people of this beautiful country. I'm proud to witness that the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between our two countries have been further enriched and broadened. I wish this beloved country more stability and prosperity. I wish the noble army forces bigger success. Thank you all.
So I want to thank you very much for that. I'm sure he also respectfully deserves another round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. We are highly honored for your efforts in supporting the armed forces of the Republic of Sierra Leone. It's not only this one, but also the officers' mess and single officers' quarters. Now we move to the climax of this occasion, and that is the keynote address by His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Southern Armed Forces. May I now respectfully invite His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Southern Armed Forces, Brigadier General Retired Dr. Julius Maada Bio, Grand Commander of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Sir.
Let's sit down, please. The Minister of Defense, honorable members of Parliament present here, the Chargé d'Affaires of the People's Republic of China, the Director General Ministry of Defense, Chief of Defense Staff and all Assistant Chiefs present here this morning, officers of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, men and women of our staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As your Commander-in-Chief, I'm very delighted this morning to be here to be taking delivery of and inspecting and formally commissioning these engineering equipment. Vision, shared interest are grounded in mutual respect, trust and cooperation for the benefit of our people. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, I wish to extend our sincere gratitude to President Xi Jinping for the extensive and significant support from China and Sullivan all along the borders of our two systems. Excellent progress is being made in rehabilitating and transforming the 34 military hospital into an ultra-modern facility with a 500-bed. I'm also proud to announce today that the capability of our maritime wing for the monitoring and surveillance of our territorial waters, including the exclusive zone, fisheries inspection and control, maritime search and rescue, and accidents and disaster response, among others. During my working visit to the provinces, I've made time out of my busy schedule to share breakfast and fraternize with men and women of various units and formations. I do so because I am extremely proud of the great sacrifice and service of the servicemen and women of our staff. Of course, besides that, the barracks was where I called home for a long time. Retired Soldier Manade Commania Barracks. As Commander-in-Chief, I promised that I would transform our staff into a professional, well-equipped and capable institution of highly motivated men and women who would carry out their constitutional mandate whenever required. I promised in the New Direction Manifesto that as President, I would work towards mechanizing and modernizing the RSLAF to enable them to generate revenue and to contribute to non-traditional military function and development, such as relief, disaster interventions, agriculture, and construction. It was a promise made, and as I always do today, as a result of the deeply friendly support of the President and people of the People's Republic of China, it favorably to deliver public civil projects, including roads, bridges, and other public infrastructure construction. With the equipment now available, the RSLAF Engineer Regiment will also undertake civil works in support of disaster mitigation and response, including flood control, medical and humanitarian emergencies, and disaster response civil works. The RSLAF Engineer Regiment can henceforth also undertake the construction and maintenance of military facilities, support food production and agriculture, and use the machine to generate revenue for the RSLAF in peacetime. Finally, to the officers and men of the ARSLAF Engineer Regiment, I want to encourage you to take full advantage of the several opportunities these equipment offer for enhancing your technical skills to capacitate yourselves. Let me once again thank the Minister of Defense and his senior management team at the Ministry of Defense for organizing this commissioning ceremony at short notice. To our Chinese friends, I say, 谢谢. I will undertake a tour of the equipment on display. But now, I have the pleasure to formally take delivery of and commission these engineering equipment. Thank you for your attention.
Let me thank, please take your seat. Let me thank His Excellency the President, Commander-in-Chief of the People's Armed Forces very much for his keynote address to officers, men and women of the Republic of Southern Armed Forces. Now, we'll move over to the next item, which is the cutting of the tape. And I will respectfully once again invite His Excellency the President for the cutting of the tape and inspection and display of ARSLAF engineering equipment. Your Excellency, sir. Please, this is a control event. National anthem, please, before His Excellency moves, please.
Hey, national anthem, please.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Southern Armed Forces, Brigadier General Retired Dr. Julius Madabio, Grand Commander of the Republic of Southern Armed Forces. He is now respectfully invited to officially cut the tape, inspect the equipment, and also there will be a display of the equipment. Very senior personalities are requested, please requested to join up. Thank you.
Can I go live, man? Huh?
Pleasure and delight, and I have the honor to formally take delivery of and commission these equipment.
Pieces of equipment for the army engineering of the Sierra Leone Armed Forces, different kinds of equipment, machines, and all that in them. So now they see one of the forklifts, we'll call it excavator, we in demonstration for His Excellency, see how then they perform. And now you see a dumper from the other side. We down there obviously going to take dirty from one place to the other. So His Excellency just inspect all the equipment. They get forklifts. There's about 4, 5, 7 of them. And then they get load, and you get the other one where obviously the camp where normally we say they can take some dirty, and then we go for see some truck, get some of the truck them, we in a cargo truck with them, of course 10 of them that are there, and then we see the machine where they come, is a loader, wheel loader, we demonstrate in front of His Excellency. So the army engineering well equipped for now. We can run any road construction as you can think, because they get the professionals, the engineers. The army engineering, of course, when they construct road them in this country, but because of lack of equipment, they're not able to carry out that function. But my division really into the armed forces, I think say now with all these equipments, they don't wake up for that division in the armed forces, Sierra Leone armed forces don't wake up because they just get the equipment. We will give them the opportunity for do the engineering work. Well, this the Chinese government, of course, from the Excellency Xi Jinping, so the Republic of Sierra Leone. So, of course, the army engineering
Yes, we are still witnessing the inspection and also the display. Any moment from now, the guest of honor, His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of
Just to do some construction work and then come back to see how they will carry on.
Do not forget that for us to have this success is a work of behind the scenes. There are very hard-working personalities from the Ministry of Defense, especially the procurement department, the principal accountants of the Ministry of Defense, Deputy Secretary.
All right, it's okay. Well,
from the Ministry of Defense, of course, the Director General, the administrative head of the Ministry of
course, we will
Defense,
see.
and by extension, the Republic of Again, today we are happy to have my mentor, Mr. Larry Bassi, Chief of Staff, National COVID-19 Emergency Center, with us. And very seasoned civil servants who have worked so well, very hard for this nation.
All right, so
Thank you very much for your help.
this
Regards to the ADC, His Excellency President, the Director of the Joint Presidential Task Force,
the Sierra Leone Armed
Chief
Forces.
Security One, Lieutenant Colonel Etienne Baika, Chief Security Two, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Sylvester Bennett, and we have the communication team, the statutory communication team from State House, and my boss is here. Very hardworking personality. We appreciate you. We still have the commitment, by God's grace, the Gundama Barracks Phase 2. God willing, our Commander-in-Chief again, God willing, the build of Gundama Barracks 4, 5 infantry brigade. The battalion commanders who are here to be visited by the Commander-in-Chief are now praying. They are going to mosques and churches pray that the Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of
All right, well, from them, of course, and also we come to an end of this wonderful program. The Armed Forces of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and we hope the Army Engineering Division will